Without wasting much time, let me start off with you, Prince Francis Chilaka. There's a revelation made by Daniel Bwala, spokesperson of the president, talking about how the government is ready to bring out the list that contains the name of terrorism financiers in Nigeria. Recall, we have a name already, 400 and something names being given to the past administration, or rather to the president, because we know the government is continuing. And later we'll have another one, 0 down to 14 names, also made available to the president. Zazagola also printed out another information, talking about people who are financing this, even the Bureau of Change offices and how the monies are being wired and all that. So why do we need another time or extension for people to be prosecuted and also offices, organizations to be brought to book?
This government is, the more you look, the less you see. It took Mr. President 2 years to give us a list of ambassadors. And when the list came out, it's nothing to write home about. It was just like the same list that happened during the prerogative of mercy. So a government that wants to act, a government that is on, that is moving forward, a government that knows what it's doing, you don't need to tell people you want to release. Let the government start by saying, okay, the 400 names that was given, publish it. Let people know. You see, what the government doesn't understand about this whole idea of putting out there those who are responsible for sponsoring terrorism and banditry is that once those names are out there, you've cut off the lifeline of these bandits. And that's how it works. But I think the government is not being, nobody's taking the government serious anymore, because we know that when the list comes out, we may likely see names that will shock us.
Now, when you say no one is taking the government seriously, recall that there was a list made available. We talked about that already. During the time of the former president, Buhari. And it was more like no one said anything about it. No one is willing to tell Nigerians what is happening. So don't you think at this point, with the revelation made by Bwala, that in no distant time, Nigerians will have access to these people, or even in the international world, will have access to these persons and other organizations? Don't you think that's more like a work in good direction? Recall also that today we learned that the Defense Minister, Baduro, resigns. They cited health issue and all that. And he said something about the incessant insecurity in Nigeria leading to his resignation. Let's also look at what Ribadu talked about. He said he went somewhere, or rather that the children kidnapped from the St. Mary's Catholic School in Kotagora, United States, are in good shape. Are we seeing the government?
Well, let me take it from Nuhu Ribadu. If he's saying that they're in good shape, has he seen them? Has he communicated with them?
Probably that's what he did.
Because the bishop of Kotagora has come out to say nobody has given us any information. You know they've had a protest on Sunday. The families of the kidnapped children. Do you know why they went on protest? Because the governor said what he shouldn't have said. The governor said, "Oh, these children are not kidnapped; rather they are missing." That's the height of insensitivity. And that is the way government sees it.
So when you say if he has maybe reached more like talk to them or that, he also said something about them being taken care of, well taken care of. No room for alarm. We shouldn't be alerted.
See, when you say they have been taken care of, what it means is that you know where they are. You know the people holding them. Look at the one that happened in Katsina. Bandits had the temerity to do a video talking to the children, asking them questions and telling them that we are letting you go not because of the force of your government, but because of the negotiations that has come out with your government. So if the Ribadu is not telling Nigerians that, oh, these children are in safe hands, they have been taken care of, then it means that Ribadu know where these children are.
Okay. All right. Mr. Elvis, let's bring you into this conversation. You have followed it. So now we have Daniel Bwala come to tell us that, look, the names, that was the names that were given to the government, previous administrations, I think it's more than how many years now? It was during the Buhari era, administration, and we didn't do anything, up until this moment that we are under pressure, the heat is on us to do something by the United States of America. That was not the only list. I think twice. Now we hear the presidential spokesperson say, look, we are working on it very soon. You know, we are going to make it open. In the first place, is that what the government should tell us, that they are working on the list? Or government telling us that, look, we have apprehended, you know, names on those lists, and we are actually, as a matter of fact, prosecuting them and trying to cut off that supply. What should it be? What should the government tell us at this moment?
Well, the government is telling us that they are working on the list. Let us believe that probably they don't want to. You know, this is a government that will be publishing names of dead people, even in board directors and appointments. So probably they want to scrutinize this list so that the trajectory they are known for, you know, publishing names of people that are not alive, people that are elderly, people that are even doing well in their respective businesses, and the government now calling them on board. Maybe they want to scrutinize that list and make sure that before they release it to Nigerians are the real genuine terrorist sponsors that Nigerians have been hoping for. The list is overdue quite well. We have been hoping for this because I keep telling people that the boys, those ragtag boys in the bush that comes out to take K-47 to pick Nigerians into the bush, they are not the terrorists, Mr. Koro. Those boys are not the terrorists. Those boys are just victims of circumstance. Those boys are still the ones that are still on the street now, Amajeri, whom the northern state governors refuse to take care of. So when opportunity of this nature comes, they don't even know what the opportunity is all about. They just fall victim. If you cut the lifeline by arresting these the terrorist sponsors and prosecute them, those boys will be hungry in the bush. They'll come out, they'll drop this gun. Once there is no bullet on that gun, their power is defeated. Once there is no food, their power is gone. Those boys are just like what we saw during that protest when we started seeing children holding a different country flag, and those children were arrested because they just hold that flag. They don't know what they were holding. That's the same thing you see with these boys. If these boys don't have motorcycles, petrol in that motorcycle to move to the town, those motorcycles will be useless.
All right, Elvis, you know, when Buhari became president, a lot of Nigerians felt that, because of his campaign promises and all of that, that insecurity was going to end in 6 months. Former head of state, military general, and all of that. A lot of Nigerians believe that, look, we'll come to an end of this. But it didn't happen. Instead, it festered, you know, under his. Now, when Bola Ahmed Tinubu came in, there was a political angle to it. There's this conspiracy theory that the North is using it for something, and that Tinubu was going to fight it. We haven't seen that. He's dilly-dallying, you know, he's tiptoeing around all those issues. Do you think that there is another political coloration, you know, around his inability, quote and unquote, to fight this insurgency, terror insecurity? Because as a matter of fact, as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, he has what it takes. Jonathan did it. He tried to push back, you know, and they said, no, we don't do that. Politics again. So what will be the political coloration this time?
It's second term. It's as simple as that. By the time they get into Aso Rock, let me tell you, the politicians are not interested in you and I. They're interested in the next election, how to get themselves back. They have stooge who sell this dummy to them when they get into the seat of government. The president now just become like a weakling, even though he's having all that big paraphernalia, that big toga as president and commander-in-chief. The people will tell you, this is not the time for you to do this because you are coming for a second term. That's what you are saying. And again, all the people you are seeing, even the list you are expecting, you'll be disappointed because most of the names that are going to be in the list are not even going to be the real name. The major names that are, perpetuating this insecurity are the major financiers of politicians. Their names will not be there. So these are some of the reasons why the president gets there and feel like he's handicapped because he wants to get back to the office for a second term, not minding whether Nigerians are in the bush, Nigerians are killed daily, slaughtered daily, or whatever.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Elvis. Let's take the conversation to Joseph Igoche, who is a security expert. Good morning, Joseph Igoche. Good to have you join today's conversation.
Good morning, viewers.
All right, please, I would like to get your opinion on, what we're talking about terrorism and the promise made by Daniel Bwala from the presidency saying that Nigerians will soon have the names of terrorism financiers in Nigeria. But I would like you to look at the information made available by Ribadu that at this point to have the United States, France, UK providing support to Nigeria to end the issue of insecurity? I think 2 or 3 days ago, we also got an information that the US have sighted their base somewhere in Ghana. And then from there, they are coming into Nigeria with sophisticated equipment to, help survey the land, to know where they are going to, bombard if need be and all that. How do you think these whole measures are going to help to end the issue of insecurity in Nigeria?
Good morning once again, viewers at home and my co-host in the studio. I still remain Igoche Joseph, your security expert. Well, we will be saying these things down without number, and I think there's nothing new about this issue of terrorism anymore. We keep saying the same thing often and often. I think the only link that is missing is the action about the people who have the will and who has the power, who have the resources to let it work. So terrorism globally has become a competitive business, and we have quite a number of people that have invested all their own life and resources into this, and they want to make it profitable. So it's not something you go to them begging them, pleading with them. You either take it by force or you let it go. So we are at the point of we allow them to continue to turn our country to a battlefield, to a business venture, to an oil field where they'll keep feeding and welling and get all sorts of things and go away, or we combat them head on. I think the promise of making the list, the name of the sponsors public and all sorts of things. Well, for me, it's not mentioning the name that matters, but the action taken to curb all these insecurities all over the places. And even if they release the list today, what has that got to do? Does the list stop them? Does the list do anything to them? What are the consequences? Are we ready to fight these people? Are we ready to hold on to them? And I think the Nigerian government should be willing. They should have that political will to rescue this nation from the hand of these so-called terrorists. It's a global issue, and that is why you see the collaboration from the US, from other top world leaders, promising Nigeria that, okay, they are coming to help. I think every government should welcome that idea and should welcome them with all what we need to make sure that we fight these people and we fight to win.
When you say welcome them with everything that they need, there was a revelation also being made by another top Nigerians about how some parts of Nigeria, Nigeria and Chad, are they marked out to be the world terror headquarters. And it happens to be somewhere in the north, within the Lake Chad axis and all that. How do you think we'll be able to combat these people, even when some are beginning to give it, more like a supremacy connotation, that some people, not Africans now, but some people, maybe from the West or the East, are sponsoring the issue of African terrorism?
That we need to combat them. See, we need a super force. We need a force that is more higher than what we are deploying now. Presently, Nigeria rely on non-kinetic energy. Oh, let's go and beg them. Let's go and plead with them. They keep multiplying. They get the money tomorrow. They kidnap. I'm from Benue State, and I've been victim of it. Anytime I speak about terrorism, I can say thousands of Nigeria doesn't have the feel the way I have the feel. It's not something like bread and butter, This guy came from nowhere and do whatever they wants to do and left the entire country, just the way it is. So what I'm saying in essence is this: the way it is now, and right now the way it is, if we want to really fight terrorism, I don't think it's something that is within the power of Nigeria as a nation. Even if we have the power, we have the political will. Are the people at the helms of affairs now who are supposed to lead this war against terrorism, in one way or the other, are they not complicit in this case? So many interests will begin to come. So we need people that have this equipment, the right tools, and the right mindset. The mindset, first of all, the mindset, pull your resources together. The mindset makes whatever weapon you want to deploy to work. So what is our mindset? How do we view these people? Do we see them as a criminal? Do we see them as people to be eliminated? But when we still see these people who feed on human beings, who cannibalize people, and we are still seeing them as human, then there is going to be a problem. They don't see us as human. They see us more or less like, just let me say, more like food of just they don't see us the way we see them.
All right.
So what I'm saying in essence is this: it's a welcome idea, it's a welcome development for the world leaders, the US, the other, the other big countries are coming to help us to regain the land. So there is no way we can downplay these things. It's not something that we can handle on ourselves, because when we give it to ourselves to handle, we begin to bring religion into it, we begin to bring sentiment into it. Oh, this is a political issue, this is not a political issue, and the real things are growing, and Nigeria are falling victim every day.
Interesting.
Now nobody can travel home anymore.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joseph Goche, for your submission. Honorable Ejiofor Iguatu, let's get your opinion on this topic. As a politician, what do you make of the call by Reverend Dachomo that the Muslim ticket to have in Nigeria is what is for the fuel and the issue of insecurity? He's calling for the removal of Nuhu Ribadu and also the Vice President Shetima. What do you have to say about this? Because people are talking about Nigerians not having, or Nigerian government not having the political will to end the issue of insecurity. And it's more like the terrorists are gaining sympathizers all over. What do you have to say about this, please, the Muslim ticket?
U.S. President Donald Trump has his Iranian President Nicolas Maduro ruling that refusal could lead amid the conversation between the two presidents. Comes amid.
All right, I guess we're having a glitch because there's a little interference. I can hear you properly. Okay, and I would like for you to sort yourself out, then we can get back to you. But in the meantime, let's bring it back to the studio. Prince Francis Chilaka, you get the question I asked earlier to Honorable Ejiofor Iguatu about the Muslim ticket and the political will. Because some Nigerians with the opinion that seems to have a president who is a Muslim and also the vice president a Muslim, the NSA a Muslim, and all that. You know, it's more like playing the religious sentiment on issue against terrorists.
The state of nepotism that we have in governance today was actually fueled by the former late president, Muhammadu Buhari. And I think, unfortunately, what has played out is this administration has copied, like Nigerians do. Nigerian leaders, when they go abroad, when they want to copy the things they see abroad, they copy the worst part of it and bring it back home. So this President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration has copied the worst side of the late president and is applying it. When the issue of Muslim ticket came up, I was one of those who spoke against it. I said, it does not reflect who we are. It does not show the unity that we're trying to build. It does not show the fact that we want to shake hands across the Niger. But a lot of people felt, oh, it doesn't matter. We even had some men of God who came and said, it doesn't matter. But today, everybody's feeling it.
Does it really matter? Because
it matters.
I could recall that Abiola also have a running mate who was a Muslim.
As at the time of Abiola and Babangida Kingibe, exactly. As at the time of Abiola and Babangida Kingibe, we have not been divided the way we are today. As at that time, nobody knew who was a Muslim and who was a Christian in Nigeria. But this set of politicians we have used religion and tribe as a weapon to divide the people.
When you made mention of the former administration, we have the president, a Muslim, and then the vice president was a Christian. How did the issue of insecurity play out then? It was a bit balanced.
Let me tell you something. I say with all sense of responsibility. If you go back to 2013, 2014, and you listen to the campaigns of the former president, I told people, I said, he was shouting change. Nigerians were shouting change. And when he came, what did he do? He changed Nigerians. And that changing means that he opened the roof for this insurgency that we have today. And we had expected that coming with, first time in the history of our political life, we were having a core politician. Somebody that was sold to us as a master strategist. Somebody that was sold to us as the man who built Lagos, despite the efforts of people like the late Lateef Jakonde, Fashola, and Ambode. But we were told that only one man built Lagos. And I was going to come and build Nigeria. But the Nigeria we have today is worse than it was when it came. So the truth of the matter is that whether you have a vice president, first of all, let us be sure of what we're saying in this country. A vice president is a spare tire. We all here sit down here, we have cars. how often do you use your spare tire? And that is the situation we have. We have a system that gives all the power to the president. If you follow the interview of our one-time president, Jonathan, he said something. And I think people just, Nigerians listen, they don't grasp, they don't meditate over what somebody says. He says he was, as an acting president, you're not the chief CNC. As the acting president, you're not the commander-in-chief. That you become a commander-in-chief when you're sworn in as a president. That you are sworn in as president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and then you are given the authority as the commander-in-chief. The vice president is not the commander-in-chief. He is just there as an acting capacity. He doesn't have powers. Even during the time of Buhari and Oshibajo, you notice what happened. When Buhari was sick and went abroad, Oshibajo put some things in place, which Nigerians saw as a light at the end of the tunnel. When Buhari came back, what did he do? He switched off the light and brought us back to darkness.
But in this case, we know that the vice president said something. He said, let the man who turned Lagos into the largest economy within just a few years be the one that will man the affairs of economy. Let the vice president, handle the issue of security.
Okay, let me ask you this, Fina. That's a good observation. Since this government came to power, tell me, what has been the status of Shettima?
He's been traveling and representing Nigeria.
Good.
But let's,
so why is he not get of the
let's take the conversation to Honorable Ejiofor Egwuatu. Good to have you again, Honorable Ejiofor. Good to have you join the conversation once again. I was asking, as a politician, what do you make of the words of Reverend Dachumo blaming the issue of insecurity on the Muslim tickets that we have playing out now? He also is calling for the removal of the Vice President Shettima and also Nuhu Ribadu from their position, replacing them possibly with a Christian or maybe a traditionalist.
I think the issue is not about Ribadu as a person. The government is an institution, and the president and commander-in-chief is in charge of the government. So it is not about Ribadu as a person. I do not think Ribadu as a person will have all the capacity to destroy every plan of the government to fight terrorism. So I think it is a collective lack of political will by the government as an institution. The government has not shown Nigerians that they are really ready to fight terrorism. The government has not practically demonstrated a commitment that people can feel and touch, that they are ready to fight terrorism. I do not believe that removing one political appointee or the other will make a lot of difference. If the president stamps his feet on what he wants to be done, every political appointee under him must have to align with it and then make sure these things are done. So I do not see it from that angle of personal attacks on these people. But the long and short of this story is that the people are dying. People are dying. And government needs to do a whole lot to show us Nigerians that they are really in charge. The primary purpose of government is the security and welfare of the people. And if we continue to have this discussion every day without actions, it borders on national unity, it borders on patriotism, it borders on passion and love for the country. It kills the zeal of the younger elements who are growing up, who are coming up on the way they see Nigeria. The fact that Nigeria cannot protect them, it's a very shameful thing. So the government should do things that are showing capacity to destroy. You can listen to the National Security Advisor saying that the kidnapped students are doing very well, as if he went to serve them tea in the morning and serve them amala in the afternoon. So he felt they are doing well. How can people who were kidnapped and taken away from their families be doing well? What kind of well are they doing in a kidnapped environment? Eh? You can imagine. So these kind of things show lack of empathy. It shows lack of commitment to doing what is right. The government should wake up. A situation where terrorists will showcase that they are far above government, brandish money everywhere in this economy of lack. You can imagine how younger boys and girls who have not seen that kind of money will see. How will they picture it on the social media, where they see people who are supposed to be bad, who are supposed to be in prison,
showing off affluence and wealth, and then of course it encourages other people to want to go into crime. That's the situation that we're having. Thank you very much, Honorable Ejiofor Igwatu, for your contribution there. Let's bring it back to Mr. Elvis Elimihele. Now, Nigeria is part of the global anti-money laundering, a lot of global anti-money laundering organizations. Now, with that membership, and we see how terrorism financing has thrived in Nigeria, what greater implication would it have on Nigeria from the part of the international community when they see that, look, you're not really doing anything about terrorism and money laundering? The government has said they will come hard on banks that aid terrorism. What do you make of all of that? Is that something that should hold? Does that hold water?
Well, I think it's part of what we are expecting to hear from the government now. This releasing of this terrorist sponsors list, and also these banks. Because if you look at the volume of money, the humongous amount of money that passes through the hand of these bandits, especially when you're talking of payment of ransom, where do you get that money? Okay, if somebody is kidnapped and you are go and bring 50 million, is that 50 million in the house? It's somewhere. It's somewhere in the bank. And
you better withdraw that, then
you need to withdraw. You don't do transfer to terrorists. And when you get to bank now, you and I, Moses, they'll tell you they will not give you more than 20,000. They will not give you more than 50,000. But these people come, withdraw this money and take it to this bandit. Can't it be traced through that manner? So it shows that we have not really been serious about fighting this terrorism. Most of the people we see, most of the bank ND should also be scrutinized adequately and investigate very well. Then in the area of talking about what Dachomon said concerning, let me tell you, this government, even if they were serious or not, when they came up with that Muslim ticket, Nigerians kicked against it. They went further to make caricature of the whole situation, mockery, by going to dress fake bishops. We saw it. That was where they threw Christianity out of circulation in this nation. That led to this massacre we started seeing, this genocide we started seeing that we are crying of. Nigerians condemn it. Even some people, somebody like Daniel Bwala that is talking about coming to release the terrorist financial list now. Daniel Bwala left APC because of that singular act then, and said we went to join the PDP to campaign for Atiku Abubakar. Remember Babachi Lawal, the former secretary to the government of the federation, left the party then too. Nigerians protested, but this government insisted because they knew what they were coming to do. How do you go and dress up some kind of people, caricature and tell these are bishops? Do they know the paraphernalia of bishop? Do you not know the office of bishop? How high ranking they are? They just made mess of the whole thing, and that's where we are. So that was the time they were giving opportunity and giving that boldness to these boys. So what we are seeing today started right from the time of campaign. If we were having a good electoral system, that was the time these people should have gotten to power. If our vote actually counts in this nation, we would have seen that because of the protest, Nigeria protested and voted. Yes. But unfortunately, INEC came and told us that there was a glitch. And that glitch today has not been explained. We have started seeing that the man who announced glitch is getting reward every day.
Does it seem like this government thrives more on propaganda? Because before you respond, you just mentioned the bishops, yes. Whether they are fake or not, I don't know. I wasn't there. We saw the video. Yes, and then we also saw very recently a video which we played here of some individuals in America claiming to be Nigerians, speaking against the genocide in Nigeria, only for the interviewer in that video to, interview them, and then we realized they were not even Nigerians. They were actually paid to be there. Does it seem like this government will do anything about solving insecurity, or are they more focused on propaganda?
They are 100%.
Should we have hope?
They are 100% focused on propaganda. You remember Lai Mohammed in this nation when he was their spokesperson. That propaganda about APC started from his time till where we are now. I saw that video. It was even posted on my school platform, and I reacted and I made some comments. Some APC who are also members of the platform now picked it up. You can imagine the people who had that placard, Moses, do not even know what is happening in Nigeria. They don't even know where Nigeria is located in the world. But because they were just paid, that is you and I's money, taxpayers' money, that was used to sponsor that against Nigerians, because Nigerians talked about insecurity. When government now renege on their function and their duties and responsibility, constitutional duties and responsibility, that government becomes a threat to the people. The constitution says the welfare and security of the citizen is the primary responsibility of the executive arm of government, which is headed by the president. When you are not doing that, then you will not think that the people are happy with you. The people are not happy with you. The money that was used to sponsor that campaign abroad, do you know how much it is? That's taxpayers' money that could have been used to even solve some problem here. I keep telling you that if these northern states, especially the northern states, function like normal states in Nigeria, most of this security will be reduced. But they can get that money to go and hire some people abroad, pay them in foreign currencies, and make them to come and start talking against Nigerians. The same Nigerians they refuse to protest. The same Nigerians that are in IDP camp all over this nation.
And with all of that, we start to ask the question: should we expect anything from the said publication of the list?
Well, the only area I may make a little bit of difference is if these international communities are coming in, like we are hearing of some other countries are coming in, to help us to fight the terrorism. But if you leave it to Nigerian government alone, forget about it. It's going to be political and it's going to be thrown away.
Forget about it, you say. All right, so let's quickly run back to Joseph Igoche. Joseph, are you still there?
Yes.
Good. You are a security expert, and you've talked about how you have been affected directly by insecurity in Benue State. Are you and some other of your friends from Benue State thinking about teaching people how they can defend themselves, especially against these insurgents when they come? Are you putting any structure in place for somebody to be on the lookout, for some of these invasions? Do you have like a rotation of guards, on your own level, just as individual security? Are you thinking of doing that? Is that in the works already?
Well, that I think we have passed that stage now. We have passed that stage at the level we are presently of the insecurity, particularly in the North Central. There is no amount of training skill you can give to an individual to defend himself, and the person is harmless against somebody that is highly weaponized. These people come in the middle of the night, start shooting all over the places, setting houses ablaze.
Exactly the question I asked. Is there some sort of, watch? Is there some sort of rotational guard watch that your local security is putting in place to ensure that you're not taking unawares?
Yeah, there is. But with these people, regardless of whatever you put in place, in fact, there's nothing to think for them. There's nothing to stop them. They are not afraid of whatever strategy you are putting in place, because they are coming with a superior power. They are coming with weapons. So the only thing that can make them to retreat back and think about going to your community is what they have, because they also do their own assessment. They don't just come. They assess their environment a week or 2 weeks before they launch the attack. So when they discover that you are defenseless, no matter whatever you think you are putting, you can only put it well. At the end of the day, 1 or 2 survivors, somebody run, dive low, go down, sleep, don't move anywhere, and pray to your God. Maybe a bullet did not pick you. But no matter how strategy you are teaching your people, doesn't stop them from coming.
So you're not teaching them anything. You would rather just wait for God to, come help you.
That is just it. Except they also know in their assessment that, oh, if we approach these people, we are going to be the counterforce. And there is no counterforce. And that is why we're saying it in different fora, that our government should please allow, even if you need to put regulations, let's allow Nigerians to have access and carry firearms. Then it will be 50-50. Look at what happened in Abajana Express when a group of less than 50 or 30 bandits took over the road and they stopped Nigeria convoy, about 300 to 400 vehicles, and nobody could move. Are you telling me if at least 2 or 3 people or 5 in each of those vehicles has firearm, do you think any group of bandits will come and block the road? What is terror? Because you have a superior weapon to come and terrorize me. So those are the other aspects of it. But people will still come because quite a number of people have not experienced it before. They'll say, no, oh, that system is bad. People will use it against themselves. But people have been dying. People are being killed every day. Ordinary knockout in my side, people will jump from their house and go and die, thinking they have come again. So those are the issues we have. So there is no amount of trading skill you give to young people in the community, or if you see them, fine. We apply all those ones just to keep you alive.
All right.
It doesn't stop these people from coming.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Igoche. I think there's an ongoing debate whether Nigerians should be allowed to carry arms or not. It's going to stay for a while because a lot of people are pushing in that direction. Now, let's come back to the studio. And before we leave this conversation, please, I want to ask you. We have been talking, and Moses talked about financing, and the collaboration with international financial agencies and all of that. I would like to ask you, Nigeria is a country of interest globally, and we understand that certain people believe that, America is coming in because China is here doing the exploration and all of that. I want us to talk about foreign interest in Nigeria in terms of this terrorism, not of business. Do you think that some foreign powers, some foreign countries could be involved in sponsoring this terrorism? We know that ISWAP is well and alive here in the northern region, and they are doing a lot, Islamic State West Africa. Do you think that some foreign countries, that I don't want to mention, Islamic countries, and we also know that there's a lot of funding coming in from those countries. Talk about Sukuk, talk about, other interest-free loans and all of that. Could they be part of the problem?
Let me take it from a different dimension. I think that Nigeria of today is more afraid of breaking up than taking out this terrorist group. And that is why you find a situation you think it is impossible to do what is possible. Our leaders are more afraid of losing a grip that they have on the people than taking out this terrorist group. See, between you and I, he mentioned it, and I like the way he put it. Between you and I, walk into any bank in Nigeria, you cannot take more than 20,000 naira. But then somebody is going to pay the terrorists 10 million. Where does he get the money from? How come that when you want to pay ransom, banks suddenly have money to give you? So where are they getting the money from?
Okay, now, please, that's an angle to it. But my direct question is...
I'm coming. Okay. You're talking about foreign interest.
Okay, beautiful.
If you're talking about foreign interest, what do you think they're interested in? You talk about China being interested in mineral and all of that. How much of that mineral is reflecting in your life? If you're not aware, the governors of the North came together and they're meeting. And they said something that really got me baffled. They said they're suspending mining in the North for the next 6 months. Is that not hypocrisy? Who is doing the mining in the North? Is it the federal government? Every mining that is being done in the North is illegal mining. So it means that the governors in the North are aware that there's illegal mining going on, and they're pretending.
Okay, now, Prince.
I'm coming. Okay. You and I know that it is very, very expensive to venture into mining. That is where the foreign interest you're talking about comes in.
No, you're talking, I said, let's take out the economic business interest. I'm looking at, let's, for instance, you see what Hezbollah, what Iran is doing in Lebanon, what they are doing in Gaza and all of that. We also see that Saudi Arabia sponsors a lot of, Islamic development in Europe, and it's a present issue now in parts of Europe. My question is, do you think that this foreign interest might be interested in Nigeria to the extent that they want to? We have been having this debate. Nigeria is a member of IOC and all of that. Could it be part of the problem?
Okoro, it has nothing to do with OIC.
Okay.
What you have playing out in Nigeria has to do with economy. It has to do with your resources.
Okay.
Who is going to control it? Those people who are doing those illegal mining, they don't care about the life and livelihoods of Nigerians. Because if they were doing the right thing, Nigerians will not be living in IDP camps today. So the government is complicit in whatever is happening. And that is why we are saying that it is the responsibility of government to secure the lives and properties of Nigerians. You have opened your door for illegal mining. And you know what comes with illegal mining? If you have gold here now, it means that for you to be able to access the gold, you need to chase away everybody within that community. So we should be asking questions. Now that you're asking this question, whether it's an issue of Islamic agenda, that's what you're trying to say. The question you should be asking is, the lands that people have been driven out of, where they're now living in IDP camps, Okoro, who are the people taking over those lands?
No, that's the question.
Who are taking them over? Why is it that this government has not been able to return people back to their ancestral homes?
No, now I go back to that question. Before we leave, I go back to that question. Do you think that there could be foreign interest to ensure that, look, Nigeria is...
Even if there's foreign interest, they need local interest to achieve their aim.
Okay, so are they aligning? Do you see them aligning?
How can you ask me if they're aligning? When Nigerians are living in IDP camps, Okoro?
All right.
When Nigerians can no longer sleep with their two eyes closed.
Okay. Elvis, sorry please. Elvis, let me quickly ask you. With the recent release that government was involved in of, the Iruku church members and some of the other girls, and we saw how, government got involved. Do you think, and then there was a release, bandits were not, the kidnappers were not abducted, there was no shootout, and nobody died. Do you think government paid ransom or government just threatened them? I asked that to ask another thing. So just...
They said they didn't pay ransom, but you
they said they didn't pay.
Yeah, but you and I know too well that these bandits are not Father Christmas.
So you think they paid?
Well, Nigerians know. Me,
That
personally, I also know that.
If that be the case, can we say that government itself is financing terrorism? Because if you pay a ransom, and we know that they use this ransom to stock up cash of arms, can we then say that government itself should be on that list, financing terrorism?
That's where the issue comes in, Moses. The government itself, if they want to be truthful to themselves, they should look inward. At the time, former President Jonathan told us that terrorists has infiltrated his government and they are part of his cabinet.
Buhari said the same.
Buhari that we so looked at, retired general that was coming to do the needful, could not achieve it. Then what do you expect of President Tinubu?
And Ribadu is saying, look, don't worry, this...
But Moses, Moses, let me just interject. You're asking a question. You are forgetting that these same guys who took these girls released a video.
They released a video.
And everybody's keeping quiet about it.
The Kebbi girls.
They released a video telling you that we are doing this because we entered into negotiation with your government.